John, I got to start with Virginia, right? And then we'll go to all your other polls here. So
Okay.
we get a poll out yesterday from Mary Washington University. Trump and Biden are tied in Virginia. Look, I was chairman of the Trump campaign in 2016 and 2020. 16, we got beat by 4.5, somewhat competitive. I got signs. 2020, we got beat by 12. Trump not popular in Virginia. Now Mary Washington University has a poll. He's tied with Biden at 37. I was shocked when I saw this because in 2 cycles, I never saw a poll in Virginia where we were not down by like 20 or 25 ever. So what's going on?
Well, what's going on is Joe Biden's still president, and he's got a huge disapproval rating. We have that he's a 54 disapprove, only 42 approve. 69% of all Americans think the country's on the wrong track. They say the economy is getting worse, not better, 67-25. The top issue is inflation. And of people that have been affected by inflation, 84% of all voters in the country said they've been negatively impacted by inflation. 48% to the point where they can't make ends meet. So Virginia is not, although Northern Virginia may be inside the Beltway, the rest of the country and the rest of Virginia is not feeling really good right now. In fact, most voters are angry. And President Trump is just in the primary. He's just got such a lead. He's in this poll, our national poll that we had, 54% for Trump. The next closest was DeSantis at 12, and he was at 31% in January. So DeSantis has collapsed. Trump's gone up, and you're seeing that all over the country. And in the national numbers, Trump leads Biden 47-43, and he's leading Kamala Harris 48-41. So she's impeachment insurance. But the key thing is Trump's winning with independents. Trump's winning in the suburbs. Trump's winning. He's making inroads with Hispanic voters. He's at 40% younger voters. Biden is in trouble because Bidenomics doesn't work. I mean, Bidenomics, the favorable, unfavorable on Bidenomics is 24 favorable, 47 unfavorable. And most voters in the country think it's been bad for them at a time when, domestically, inflation and high prices are the top issues.
Let's talk about Pennsylvania. You have a new poll out there that shows Trump carrying Pennsylvania in the Senate race. Unrelated poll, Dave McCormick and Bob Casey. McCormick only down by 6, and he just announced a few days ago. Casey, obviously a household name there. What do you see in Pennsylvania? Can we win Pennsylvania?
Oh, absolutely. And that Quinnipiac poll, which is usually not so good for us, they have us up too. And it could go up higher because when you think about it, Western Pennsylvania, Trump's trying to shut down, not Trump, Biden is trying to shut down their oil and gas industry. And in Eastern Pennsylvania, if you live in Philadelphia or the suburbs, you're seeing looting at stores, you're seeing crime out of control, you're seeing, they're getting the wave of illegal immigrants. So it's not a surprise that Pennsylvania is coming around too. In fact, when you look at all these electoral states, the battleground electoral states that we need to win, Trump's ahead in the national popular vote. We have by 4 points. He's ahead in the Real Clear Politics average. But in the battleground states, we're doing even better. We're up by 5 in our survey in the battleground states, 17 states. And when you think that last time around we had 232 electoral votes, well, if you switch the ones that, are obvious, like Wisconsin has 10 votes, Michigan has 15 votes. Trump was out there trying to get the union workers to support us because they're going to get their job shift to China. You've got Arizona at 11, you've got Georgia at 16, Pennsylvania, 19 electoral votes. I mean, and Nevada, if we switch them, that's 6 votes, 6 electoral votes there. We'll go over 300. We'll switch 77. And then you can put in place states like New Hampshire, Colorado, and Virginia has 13 electoral votes. So if Virginia were a tie, that's in play. And maybe even we could get Oregon. So it could be an electoral landslide for President Trump, that is.
So, when you say electoral landslide, right now we're in a position, obviously, to carry the states we did in 2020 20. Everybody knows what those are. But I think you add to those, we're going to carry Georgia, we're going to carry Pennsylvania, we're going to carry Wisconsin, we're going to carry Arizona, right? We got, I think we got a hell of a shot, like you said, in Nevada. And then it gets a little tougher, right? Then you start going to New Hampshire and Virginia, where Virginia Biden won by 12, New Hampshire he won by 6. So after you get through Arizona, and then it starts getting a little bit tougher. But how could Trump win a state like New Hampshire?
Well, first of all, New Hampshire. I mean, when you look at inflation, when you look at the fact that it's a suburb of Boston, in effect, a lot of people have to drive to Massachusetts for work or they're commuting. Well, they don't want to pay $5 a gallon for gasoline or higher. And think of New Hampshire right now. A lot of people are filling their oil tanks to heat their homes. And Joe Biden wants to end that, put them all on electricity. It's not going to work. And when you and by the way, these polls are so strong that Biden is stepping up his efforts to put Trump in jail. I mean, what's amazing is they're pressing forward on all these court cases to make him a criminal as leading political opponent. And Trump's right. The RNC needs to shut down these debates because they're an infomercial against Trump, and they seem totally irrelevant. And these other candidates, they should be speaking out against what's going on. Donald Trump, the whole thing with Letitia James, who ran on basically putting Trump out of business and prosecuting him, that was her campaign. Talking about politicizing the justice system. And no Republican is standing up against Letitia James except for Donald Trump. And it's kind of amazing. So when people, whether it's New Hampshire or Virginia or these other states, they see this, they realize Biden gets reelected, not only with his family, which is a criminal enterprise and the most corrupt president in the history of the country, go free. They will turn the IRS, they will turn the FBI. On regular people. I mean, this week there was a media report, that basically the FBI is targeting MAGA supporters. They're targeting regular people who support President Trump as potential terrorists. I mean, this is scary stuff, and the country sees it, but the voters out there see it. But people inside the Beltway, they seem to be oblivious to this, and the Republican establishment. If Biden gets away with this, the Republican establishment will come under fire. And what's the sense of having an opposition party in the United States if you can't win the elections? And that's the other thing. The Republican National Committee, like President Trump says, needs to focus on the election laws in these states. Because when you're talking about winning Pennsylvania, they're trying to expand mail-in ballots, where they were taking mail-in ballots a week after the election. In 2020, they were taking ballots a week after the election. Georgia, they fixed the election law. Whether you vote in person or whether you vote absentee, you need voter ID. So we need to get voter ID in all these states, and we need to make sure that whether you vote by absentee or mail, there's voter ID, and there's rules that will make sure we have an honest election. Because now with the migrants coming in, with the illegal immigrants that are coming in by the millions, thanks to Joe Biden, they could register in places and they could actually vote if nobody's watching.